This is a pure love story with a score of 9.9. The article switches perspectives between male and female characters frequently. There are multiple plot twists. The ending has a surprise. I recommend watching it all the way through. That night, I received a call from my girlfriend. She playfully ordered me to go out and date her right now. But she is already dead. She died in a car accident 4 years ago. I received the call exactly on the anniversary of her death. July 14, 2018. My flight was delayed due to weather conditions. It landed at 3 in the morning. As soon as I turned on my phone, I received a call from my senior. He said to hurry to Baoshan Hospital. Right now. I asked, what happened? Please explain clearly first. Bai Ningbing. He said. Bai Ningbing has had an accident. My ears started to ring. My head throbbed painfully. That day was the 3rd anniversary of my relationship with Bai Ningbing. If the flight hadn't been delayed, I would have been unmarried at midnight. At 4:30 in the morning, I saw her in the hospital, covered with a white cloth. Her exposed skin was pale, holding hands, cold, firm, not at all like Bai Ningbing's hand. But the autopsy report is clear. Bai Ningbing, at 6:10 in the afternoon, at the intersection of Qinghe Road and Wenshuo Road, died in a car accident. It was a truck. The driver was fatigued, didn't slow down and crashed into it. Ito Makoto. My senior brother suddenly grabbed my hand tightly. And my hand. I was about to lift the white cloth covering Bai Ningbing's face. I said, Ito Makoto. It's best not to look, okay? I choked up. And said, let go of my hand. He no longer stopped me. I slowly lifted the white cloth. She was still very beautiful. Her brows and eyes were gentle. Just like when someone wants to stay in bed every morning. But, on her neck, there seemed to be a wound. And that wound extended downward, growing deeper, destroying her entire body, completely destroyed. I knelt on the ground. My heart feels like it has been pierced by a knife. My eyes hurt a lot, but there are no tears. I can't utter a single sound from my mouth. Did you forget our anniversary? You have to make it up to me tomorrow. I know this is just an auditory hallucination, because this is the content of the WeChat message sent by Bai Ningbing. Of a lifetime. The last WeChat message. All the stories between her and me, unexpectedly, ended with such an inconspicuous sentence. Suddenly, my throat tightened. I was retching out large amounts of stomach acid. Fatigued driving. To hell with drowsy driving. I was yelling in the police station. If it weren't for my senior brother holding me from behind, I would smash everything in the county. Mr. E, I understand how you feel right now. But please, be a person. Do you understand who you're dealing with? Let me see the murderer. Right now. No way. This is murder. Are you blind? Mr. E, there is indeed no evidence to prove he committed premeditated murder. So this is classified as drowsy driving. You bastard. What did you say? I said you're a bastard. I broke free from my senior's grip, pointing at the deputy's nose. You damn well know everything. You're lying to me. You damn bastard. Suddenly, that officer stepped forward and grabbed my hand. Instantly, he slammed me to the ground, pressing his knee tightly against my neck. He taunted me, still provoking me. Say that again. You damn bastard. After this sentence, I heard the cracking of my joints. I could no longer breathe. I felt my hands being twisted and handcuffed together. You insulted a public official. I am now legally detaining you. Having said that, he showed no intention of letting go. All his strength was still on my neck. Until I passed out. I knew I shouldn't be impulsive. At least not at this crucial moment. But I clearly saw. First, when that officer said the words, fatigue driving, he was laughing. Before passing out, I became increasingly certain. This officer, and even this whole matter, was not clean at all. After being detained, I did not stop investigating and appealing. But strangely, all the information from that year completely disappeared. The surveillance at the crash intersection was broken. The vehicle involved in the accident was scrapped and damaged. Until 4 years later, I couldn't even find the name of the driver who caused the accident. Once, while drinking, my senior told me, not to continue. Not to continue. 4 years. In these 4 years, you've aged 10 years. Bro. This matter is suspicious. Bai Ningbing was murdered. And then, you can find the truth. So won't you investigate? I asked him. So won't you investigate? I slammed my hand on the table. So you really won't investigate? That night, I returned home, looking at everything in the house. It was all just as it was when she was alive back then. I feel increasingly uncomfortable. I want to cry my heart out. But then I feel that, if I cry to death here, no one will comfort me anymore. Suddenly, a phone ringtone rang out from some corner. That's not my ringtone, but it sounds familiar. I ignored it, but it kept ringing. I felt a little annoyed. I got up. and started searching. Finally found the source in a box under the bed. I found the source of the sound. It's an iPhone 7. It was an old phone I hadn't used in at least 3 years. It still had battery. I picked up the phone. To my surprise, the caller ID showed, Bai Ningbing. Hello. I answered the phone. Why didn't you call me dear? I was taken aback. The voice was Bai Ningbing's. I answered the phone, and called her dear. This rule also belongs to Bai Ningbing. Dear, say something. The voice urged from the other side. Who are you? Ha ha ha, you're crazy. I am your goddess. Her playful tone would never be mistaken. Ito Makoto. Can you help me with a promise later while she keeps talking to herself? Wait a moment. I'll take a call. With a beep. The call from June ended. I took a moment to recover. I hurriedly checked that phone. It had 2% battery. There was no SIM card. There was no signal. In the recent calls, there was only one. Bai Ningbing. I'll call back using that iPhone 7. But I found that without a SIM card, that phone couldn't make any calls at all. And dialing Bai Ningbing's number with my own phone was just like the past 4 years. No one answered. Her SIM card had long been stored away by me, along with many of her belongings. Suddenly, that iPhone 7 rang again. I answered the call, while plugging in the power cable. Hello. This is Ito Makoto from Yoshida Island. Did you get off the plane? Yeah. I flew back from Shanghai. Weren't you delayed until 7? Bai Ningbing. Where are you now? I'm at the cocktail party of Changsheng Pharmaceuticals. My girlfriend, Bai Ningbing, is a well-known journalist. On July 14, 2018, I held a seminar with the national team in Shanghai. I'm flying back to Shenzhen. She is attending the press conference of the pharmacy company where my senior works. Of the pharmacy company, the press conference ended. As a reporter, she was invited to the reception after the press conference. After leaving the reception, 1840, she had a car accident. This information, I will never forget in my life. Bai Ningbing. I mean, over there with you. Today. What's the date? On the phone. I asked the most important question. Poof, it's our anniversary today. How could you dare to forget? What year? It's the 3rd year. So, it was 2018. What's wrong with you? Are you drinking on the plane? Bai Ningbing. I was in 2022. Hearing the date she is at, I was trembling all over. I wanted to tell her immediately how much I miss her. These 4 years, I've been living a hellish life, but I forced myself to stay calm, because I realized that July 14, 2018, was the date of her death, and this cross-time call might save her. My mind was still in chaos, and Bai Ningbing spoke again, but this time, her tone was completely different. Oh, you just got off the plane. Miss me? I miss you too, but your senior won't let me leave. She suddenly raised her voice. Clearly, this sentence was meant for someone else. I immediately understood. What she just said about helping me tell a lie meant, my senior won't let her go. My senior is beside her. You let my senior answer the phone. I said. Sipin had roughly understood. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds. Then, my senior's voice came through. Hello, Ito Makoto. With such a huge thunderstorm, the plane is on time. Yeah. Let Bai Ningbing leave first. It's our anniversary. I want to treat her to a big meal. My senior paused for a moment. Ito Makoto. Your voice sounds weary. Then, the phone was snatched away by Bai Ningbing. Alright. Thank you, dear. I'll talk to you later. Don't hang up just yet. Don't go read it. I have something urgent to tell you later. Good Qingshan Road. Don't go to the junction of Qingshan Road and Wenshuo Road. There could be a car accident. I shouted. But she hung up the phone. I'm sure. When she hung up, I hadn't finished my last sentence. I could just kick myself. I didn't tell her this right away. Moreover, she seemed very anxious. I wonder if she would care about my reminder. The next 10 minutes, I couldn't reach Bai Ningbing. It felt like an eternity, torturous to the extreme. The sky was overcast. The rain was pouring heavily. Behind the clouds, a thunderstorm was brewing. I kept staring at the time. 18, 29, 18, 30, 18, 31. If the timing is right, then time here is synchronized. So soon, Bai Ningbing will be in trouble. Wait a minute. Unintentionally, I suddenly noticed a piece of paper on the table. It was next to the old phone. The inspection report of Bai Ningbing. I uncovered it all at once. A flash of lightning outside illuminated the entire room. I clearly saw the words on that inspection report slowly changing. The original text stating, died in a car accident, vanished. What replaced it was 1910. Attacked by bandits. Severely injured. Died from excessive bleeding. The cause of Bai Ningbing's death changed. The thunder rumbled. Exploded in the air. How do you know that? Makoto Itu. How do you know? There would be an accident. My name is Bai Ningbing. I am an investigative journalist. May 2018. I found that a batch of strong pharmaceuticals, newborn hepatitis B vaccine was non-compliant. It has extremely high cardiac toxicity, causing a high rate of adverse reactions to vaccination, and deaths. Over 200 cases. And this batch of vaccine is still in production, transportation, vaccination. This matter, before me, many people already knew, but no one reported it. Why? Because Changsheng is a publicly listed company on the US stock market. Its market value is over 10 billion. There's a saying in the journalist community, disputes between neighbors. Investigate to the bottom. The dark side of capitalism. Don't even touch it. It's absolutely true. I won't tolerate any nonsense. Disgusting things. Regardless of size. I saw it. I just couldn't stand it. July 14, 2018. The press conference for Changsheng Pharmaceuticals' new drug for chronic diseases. Changsheng Pharmaceuticals marketing director, Gao Zicheng. He is also a senior brother of my boyfriend. He insisted I participate. I know. Changsheng Pharmaceutical already knows what I'm investigating. They want to get close to me. At the meeting, I didn't raise any sharp questions. It's not me being considerate. It's because I'm waiting for a report. Professor Sun's team from the University of Traditional Chinese Medicine. The authoritative drug testing report. The report will prove that vaccine, killing someone, that it's killing newborns. But that report still hasn't arrived. At the reception after the press conference, I couldn't help it. I wanted to go directly to Professor Sun's lab. But Gao Hoqiang and his group of sales representatives were each holding a glass. They wanted to chat with me casually. There was no way around it. I called my boyfriend, Ito Makoto, to get an alibi. Dear, can you help me with a lie later? At that moment, another call came in. It was Professor Sheng. Hang on a second. I'll take this call. I hung up on Ito Makoto. I connected with Professor Sun. Ms. Bai, you are correct in your investigation. Changsheng Pharmaceuticals is scheming for money and causing harm. Professor Sun, where are you? I headed over immediately. Hurry up. This matter is too serious. Don't tell anyone. I called Ito Makoto again. I used his excuse to escape from the banquet. Then I drove immediately to Professor Sun's residence. That day, the rain was pouring down heavily. The thunder rumbled continuously. It seemed endless. On the way in Qingshan Road, suddenly, a flash of lightning struck a tree right beside me. I suddenly had a bad feeling. That's when I remembered. When I hung up the phone with my boyfriend, I seemed to hear him loudly saying, Qingshan, and Wenshuo Road or something like that. But at that moment, the phone was already far from my ear. I couldn't hear clearly at all. Qingshan Road. The cars on Wenshuo Road were still moving forward. At an intersection, the green light had already started blinking. I was in a hurry, so I immediately stepped on the gas. But suddenly I saw the sign that read, Wenshuo Road. This is the intersection of Qingshan Road and Wenshuo Road. An accident at the intersection. I suddenly remembered the last few sounds from that call, and instinctively slammed on the brakes. At that moment, a huge truck roared past in front of my car, so close it directly scraped off the car's bumper, and sparks flew from the front of the car. The truck finally stopped not far away. The driver leaned out and looked at me. He glanced at me. His eyes showed a mix of apology and fear. On the contrary, they were full of hostility. After the truck drove away, I calmed my emotions. Only then did I remember my husband's call. Could he know that I would have a car accident? But I had no time to think about it in detail. Time was urgent. I pressed the gas pedal again and sped towards Professor Sun's villa. When I arrived at his doorstep, the thunderstorm had intensified. Dear, the door is open. Professor Sun invited me to sit in the big factory. He offered me a cup of tea. The white reporter. You wait here for a moment. I'll go downstairs to copy the detailed report for you. Is the report not ready yet? I felt a bit puzzled. On the phone, he clearly seemed very anxious. The laboratory is abroad. The transmission is a bit complicated. He smiled apologetically. He walked slowly towards the basement. I took a sip of tea. Finally, I was no longer anxious. It was then that I remembered to call Ito Makoto again. But as soon as the call connected, he eagerly asked me, It's fine now, right? You avoided the car accident, didn't you? I was stunned by the question. Speak up, Bai Ningbing. You avoided the car accident. How did you know? Ito Makoto. How do you know? There would be an accident. It's good if there's nothing wrong. Bai Ningbing. You should tell me first. What are you doing now? What are you doing? His voice was still anxious. Why are you suddenly asking this? Someone wants to kill you. Bai Ningbing. Someone wants to kill Zhu. I paused for a moment. Instinctively thought. Shouldn't involve him in this matter, ha ha ha. How could I force a smile? Bai Ningbing. Don't hide it from me anymore. His tone suddenly became serious. You called him by his full name. Stop pretending. He interrupted me. These past few years, you played the role of a sweet girlfriend very well, but I always knew. Outside, you go crazy with your work. How could he say something like that? Bai Ningbing. What I'm about to say is very important. Pay attention. You will be around 10 p.m. The attack by the robbers. I'm not sure about the details either, but this is what your inspection report says. Ito Makoto, what are you talking about? I am saying, you will die. You will die soon. Because this phone call has crossed time and space. His speech is extremely fast, but each word is very serious. You were in 2018, but you are communicating with me from the year 2022. Do you understand? I am in the future. In my time and space. Up to this point. He suddenly paused for a while. Ito Makoto. You say. I am listening. In my time and space. You have been dead for 4 whole years. Silence. Please, when he speaks again. He is already choked up. Bai Ningbing. Please. Believe me. I glanced at my phone. I found it was just past 7:19. Outside the window. The rain was heavy. The thunder grew louder. I went through everything in my mind. Suddenly, a wave of dread surged in my heart. I covered my mouth and the receiver with my hand. I said in a very quiet voice. Ito Makoto. So, that means I'm already in a trap. As I said, I quietly approached the basement stairs. I crouched down. I tried to peek through a tiny angle between the stairs and the basement ceiling. I was spying on Professor Sun's movements. Through that gap, I could see a man in a black raincoat, standing behind Professor Sun. He had one hand over Professor Sun's mouth, while his other hand held a knife. It had already plunged into Professor Sun's lower back. Professor Sun was struggling, and all the sounds were drowned out by the roaring thunderstorm outside. I gritted my teeth, and desperately tried not to let out a sound. Ito Makoto didn't lie to me. I really am going to die here. I stood up, and left the stairs, breathing heavily in silence. Tears started flowing from my eyes uncontrollably. I quickly wiped them away. I know. Now is not the time to cry. Ito Makoto. I whispered his name. At the same time, I took small steps back into the hall. I used all my strength to stay calm. I tried not to tremble too much. Ito Makoto. Professor Sun was killed. Understood. He took a breath. So. You are already in that Professor Sun's house. Yes. Where are you located? Hall. Where is the killer? In the basement. Very good. You are relatively safe there. What is it? According to the report, you were found dead in the villa neighborhood. It was outdoors. His voice was very calm. It was reassuring. So. Although it's absurd, I think you stayed in the villa all along. It's easier to survive. You are lucky. I won't go in. Trust me. Don't enter. I took a deep breath. It felt calm. I also calmed down quite a bit. Go ahead, you speak. What should I do? Suddenly, all the lights in the house went out completely. That man. Turn off the circuit breaker. Little girl. Where are you? A sharp scream came from the basement. You run to the door now, and open the front door. Then take off your shoes. As soon as the door opens, the sound of the wind and rain intensifies. My barefoot footsteps immediately vanished. I realized that doing this would make the killer think that I had gone in and out of the villa. Then I would turn back and rush upstairs to the master bedroom. Let me know when you arrive. I kept moving my feet and immediately turned back. But just as I stepped onto the stairs, the man in black had already come up the basement stairs. I immediately curled up in the corner of the wall, too scared to move. As he walked onto the hall floor, at the first moment, I looked towards Villa 7. He placed me in a blind spot of his vision. He just stood there, standing there. That moment, I was less than 2 meters behind him. I covered my mouth. I pressed the phone screen tightly against my clothes. I didn't dare to let out a glimmer of light. I quietly turned the phone's volume down to the lowest. And he was holding a knife. He glanced around. At that moment, I clearly knew. His peripheral vision had already caught sight of me. But this villa was too dark. And the place I was hiding was almost pitch black. After what felt like an eternity of 2 or 3 seconds, he finally hurried towards the door. He dashed out into the rain. And I didn't dare to stay. I immediately ran to the master bedroom on the left side of the second floor. Ito Makoto. I arrived. After speaking, I let out a breath. Only then did I realize I was drenched in sweat. Good. Go to the bedside table now. There's a medicine box inside. On the second tier of the medicine box, there are several unopened 20 milliliter syringes. I found them. I did as he said. I took one of the syringes in my hand. There were many ampoules. Which one to take? Extract 20 milliliters of air. I was stunned for a moment. I said, "All right, then. You turn on the shower in the master bathroom." The assailant returns to the villa. He will understand that you are deliberately leading him to search this bedroom. So his attention will likely be on another room on the second floor. And you. I should go up a few more stairs, hidden by the armrest. As soon as he reaches the second floor landing, stab his carotid artery directly. Inject all the air from the syringe. Bai Ningbing never asked me why. Knowing what Professor Sun's house looks like, he didn't ask if I was confident in this plan. This could be a tacit understanding built over 3 years. In fact, before Bai Ningbing made the second call, I had already arrived at Professor Sun's house based on the inspection report. In 2022, this house still remains unchanged, probably because someone died here. It has been vacant all along. I kicked the glass and entered. I went through everything inside. The ornament on the TV cabinet. The bottles on the wine cabinet. The most reliable option is the kitchen knife. But, with the sharpness of the kitchen knife and the strength of Bai Ningbing, it's impossible to inflict an effective wound. Then, I discovered a syringe. In the bedside table of the master bedroom on the second floor, there was an unopened 20 milliliter syringe, and some emergency medications. Clearly, Professor Sun, who lived alone, did this to guard against sudden illnesses like heart attacks, set up precautionary measures. And this syringe is much easier to use than a knife. Compared to the blade, the needle is easier to penetrate the skin. The length of the syringe is just about the width of a palm, and it can quickly inject medication. And to use this thing to kill someone, you don't need any drugs. Just injecting air into the body is sufficient. If Bai Ningbing can pierce the carotid artery, just a few dozen milliliters of air can be fatal. Even if a person is slightly off, air embolism can cause excruciating pain, leading to the killer losing their mobility. But after Bai Ningbing turned on the shower head on the second floor, I couldn't help but start to overthink on this side of time and space. I still couldn't help but let my thoughts wander. Is this not the best way? Not necessarily. There are indeed ways with lower risks. They just aren't effective enough. Can't we let her escape? We can. But once we leave the villa, there are more unknowns. Then what if she dies here? How can we handle this? If she dies here, die in my plan, I will commit suicide to accompany her. After all, these 4 years, the days without her, are far less comfortable than being dead. Ito Makoto. I heard Bai Ningbing softly calling me on the other end of the phone. Don't talk 7. He's coming soon. Just say one thing. You won't have a chance to speak later. She returned to her playful tone again. Then hurry and say it. I really like you. Low battery. Suddenly, she told me to be silent. After that, she fell silent. A few seconds later, I heard the heavy footsteps of leather shoes. The footsteps grew louder. They got closer and closer. Faintly, I heard the faint sound of fingers gripping a syringe from Bai Ningbing. Suddenly, there was a loud thunder. Unexpectedly, it came simultaneously from outside the window and from the phone. Rolling thunder. It lasted for several seconds. Then, outside the window, in the phone, everything fell silent. But on the banister of the stairs, faint cracks appeared. Those are signs of struggle. After a while, I trembled and asked. I heard Bai Ningbing gently calling me from the other end of the phone. Are you okay? And from the phone, a burst of laughter came through. Overcast. Eerie. She is not here. Here. Only I. The killer's footsteps are getting closer. But I realize. I no longer tremble. I know this plan of Ito Makoto carries great risks. However, in these years as an investigative journalist, I've done many risky things. I did too much. The killer is moving slowly. His footsteps are steady. After Saiping realized I hadn't escaped the villa, he became more cautious. I quickly replay all the plans in my mind, rehearsing my ambush over and over. After a while, I hear his footsteps. He has already reached the second floor landing. He isn't in a hurry to act. He stood there longer. Suddenly, a flash of lightning, illuminating the entire room. His silhouette was cast on the wall in the distance. Person. That shadow swayed greatly. He is at a hiding place behind the banister where he stabbed with a dagger. The criminal has returned to the villa. He knows that you are deliberately guiding him to search this bedroom. So, his attention will likely be focused on another room on the second floor. And you. I should go up a few more flights of stairs. Hide on the banister side. Wait until he reaches the second floor landing. Pierce his carotid artery. Inject all the air from the syringe. Wait. How? Can't hide by the banister. Why? If you are a weak woman, hiding here wouldn't be a problem. I am. But just now, you used the way of entering the villa to provoke the criminal once already. In his eyes, you are no longer a weak woman, but a capable opponent with a plan. Honey, what do you want to say? You can't hide here. You need to reverse your thinking. Hide in The most dangerous place. You want me to hide in the bathroom? The risk is very high. Yes. But I like it. He fell silent. In moments like this, comfort becomes superfluous. But I still spoke up. Ito Makoto. Stop talking. He's coming soon. Just say one sentence. There won't be a chance to talk later. Then say it quickly. I really like you. He paused for a moment. I feel the same way. Ito Makoto anticipated the heavy footsteps of leather shoes. This time, the killer first struck toward the hiding place behind the banister of the stairs. That was the closest cover to him. Then, he followed the sound of the shower, and walked into the bedroom. Bai Ningbing. Are you okay? The voice of Ito Makoto came from the phone. At this moment, the phone was placed on the master bed by me. The killer picked up the phone, and replied, she's not here. Here, there's only me. He fell for the trap. This phone was used to buy time. Meanwhile, I was hiding in the bathroom, and had everything prepared. The shower was spraying water that had been boiled in the tank, and the floor was covered with slippery tiles coated in a large amount of shower gel. Bang! He kicked the bathroom door open fiercely. He stepped in with a large stride, and I quickly aimed the shower at his face. He suddenly let out a howl. Instinctively, I dodged. I ultimately slid to a stop. My right arm crashed into the edge of the toilet. It made a solid sound. That must have hurt a lot. But he still held on tightly to the upper position. There was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't miss this one chance either. I suddenly lunged at him. I was riding on his waist. Only in this way could I ensure he couldn't escape my needle. The sound of flesh being pierced was very faint, but I heard it. In an instant, the left hand that didn't collide grabbed my wrist, but the air in my syringe had already entered the right side of his neck. 20 milliliters. Into the carotid artery. He stared at me blankly. His gaze was ominous, but by the time I slowly stood up, he was already unable to move. The amount of air I injected wasn't much. It would only cause temporary paralysis. His breathing and circulation were obstructed. Headache. But you will survive. I snatched the knife from his trembling hand. I got up and left the bathroom. You wait for JC. I'm sorry. They forced me to bring you here. But the report is still here. When I ran to the basement, Professor Sun was still breathing. One just lost too much blood. At a glance, it seemed hard to hold on. After saying the last word, he slowly raised his hand, pointing at the ceiling. I got the drug test data. When I called Itu, I was very excited. Ito Makoto. With these, Xiangxing Pharmaceutical will definitely go bankrupt. Ito Makoto. But over there, it was silent. Speak up. Your report has changed. It's nothing. We cooperate. Everything can be avoided. I mean, this entire piece of paper has all changed. He seems to struggling to keep my voice steady. Now it has become a missing person certificate, with the police department's official seal. Bai Ningbing. If it's a disappearance, there is no specific time of death. Although I was already prepared, hearing his words, I still felt a wave of immense oppression inside. It's okay. Ito Makoto. It's not certain yet. I'm still alive, aren't I? You should go to the police station now. Let JC protect you. I have already called the police. They are on their way. No. You need to go to the police station yourself. The sooner, the better. He looks so cute when he's anxious. I went out of the basement. I was preparing to leave and drive to the police station. But as soon as I stepped outside, I realized. In the distance, several black Mercedes were driving into the community entrance. I knew in my heart that they were the henchmen of Xiangxing Pharmaceutical. In the remote villa area, they are even faster than JC and 120. They, finally no longer holding back. By the way, Ito Makoto, can you help me check? In your timeline, has Xiangxing Pharmaceutical gone bankrupt? No. Don't rush to answer me. Could you check it out? I have been keeping an eye on the information about Xiangxing. Bai Ningbing is in danger. It's still around, is it? Moreover, its market value is higher than 3 years ago. It has doubled. In other words, the test report I have has not been reported at all. Bai Ningbing. Now is not the time to talk about this. Now you need to go to the JC office as soon as possible. Ito Makoto. I can't escape anymore. Xiangxing has mobilized this many people. It no longer matters once it's passed. After all, what I have is just a call from the future. It's not a handgun. I was born on the sofa in the villa's living room, quietly waiting. What do you mean by can't escape? What do you mean? Ito Makoto pressed on. Ito Makoto. Let's chat for a while. In the end. Let's chat. He remained silent for a long time. 2022. What does it look like? Many things have happened. The international situation is really chaotic. As long as we stay stable. Especially. Oh, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear about what happened to you. I didn't do anything. You've gotten married, right? Hi no. Then you must have a new girlfriend. How is it? Is she prettier than me? What does that even mean? Just say it. Who is prettier between us? I don't have a new girlfriend. For years. Not even one. No. Haha, what are you laughing at? You can't forget about me, can you? That's right. Bai Ningbing. Yes, I'm here. Oh. Are you regretting confessing to me back then? Are regretting confessing to me? I confess to you. It was that day. You called me, darling, as soon as you woke up. Don't give me that. You confessed at 5 in the morning the night before. You must have dreamed it. You won't admit it. You regret it. What is there to deny? It's something that never happened. You just regret it. Isn't that right? What are you regretting? Regret being with me? Who hasn't been in a relationship? I won't regret it. Don't believe it, humph. Believe it or not. Those cars have already been driven one by one. Arrived at the entrance of the other room. I know. My time is running out. Itamukoto. Actually, I really want to spend my life with you. I want that too. Although I don't like children. But if it's with you, having one wouldn't be a problem. Not having one is fine too. Have one. It would be so much fun. I've even thought of a name. After the car came to a complete stop, many strong men in black suits got out. In the rain. Their formation was dark and imposing. It's ridiculous. A company worth billions. They hired over a dozen bodyguards over 6 feet tall. Yet it's only to deal with me. How about this? The guy will be called Sishuan. Bai Ningbing. Your name must have thousands of duplicates across the country. Itamukoto, say another question. But I think it's good. I think it's especially good. It's very meaningful. He made me laugh. I'm not discussing this with you. Bye-bye. They're coming. Yes. Bai Ningbing. Itu oil. I interrupted him. I really like you. After saying that, I hung up the phone directly. I made all the records about him. The keyhole of the villa's main door issued a sound of the shaft twisting. Those people quickly filed in one after another, blocking the only light, like a group of vengeful spirits. The moment Bai Ningbing hung up the phone, suddenly, the scenery around changed completely. The wall plaster began to peel away in chunks, fall off. All the furniture began to turn to ashes, spread out, vanished into thin air at the spot. After several seconds, the entire interior of the villa became filled with scorched earth, dilapidated and in ruins. Then, the load-bearing walls of the villa also began to crack, collapse. Huge stones fell from the ceiling. I quickly escaped through the door. Immediately afterward, I heard a huge rumble behind me. That villa turned into a heap of ruins. I stood frozen in place. Soon realized. This was done by Changsheng Pharmaceutical. In the new timeline, they killed Professor Sun, and destroyed the entire villa, eliminated all evidence. And Bai Ningbing. I lost Bai Ningbing once again. I stood there in a daze for a long time. Rainwater fell on me, but I no longer felt cold. At this moment, my mind was blank. I tried to recall what Bai Ningbing looked like, but sadly realized, I hadn't seen her for 4 years. This call was like a dream that gave me hope, but cruelly made me lose her once again. Why did I have to have this dream? The siren sound grew louder as it approached, interrupting my thoughts. 2 police cars stopped in front of me. Then, several officers quickly got out. Rush up. Before I could react, they pushed me down, and handcuffed my hands behind my back, putting on the handcuffs. The last person to get out, I recognized. It was the JC who took me in at the police station that year. At this moment, he had been promoted to a higher position, and was holding an umbrella, smoking a cigarette, watching me mockingly from a distance. Itamukoto, 4 years ago, I really didn't suspect you. He showed a fierce expression. It really was you who killed Bai Ningbing. I was framed. What's even scarier is, my conversation with Bai Ningbing altered the timeline, and regarding the new timeline, I have no memory at all. Until the police took my file, I realized, I had become a part of Changsheng Pharmaceutical. Date of employment, June 2018. 2 months before Bai Ningbing's death, I became one of the enemies. This record is clearly forged. But, a forged record has been kept for 4 years. It will naturally become true. The officer threw a few photos at me. Bai Ningbing lay in the bathtub, sleeping, just like every time I fell asleep while watching a show. But she was completely naked, covered in horrific scars. The wounds on her wrists were so deep that the bone was visible. The blood stained the entire pool of water. 3 years ago, journalist Bai Ningbing went missing. You come to the police station. I said we filed a case, but there were no traces left. Very hard to investigate. At that time, you were scolding me at the police station. Do you still remember? Officer Sheng was smoking a cigarette. He pointed to his left cheek. He had just punched me. I remember you dodged it. No, you moved quickly. I didn't kill Bai Ningbing. Fuck you, Itamokoto. You're really disgusting. He flicked the cigarette right at my face. Back then, you reported it. You acted so lovesick. You scolded me while shedding tears. 'Cause a scene at the police station. All the female officers in the team back then pleaded for me, saying not to pursue your assault on an officer. Now I understand people. Everything you did was just a deliberate flaw sold to us. I'll say it again. I didn't kill Bai Ningbing. This flaw of yours is quite good. No criminal dares to attack the police. Only criminals like you would be so brazen. It's that we all presumed you were innocent. When the team searched your house, most people take it seriously. They are just going through the motions. Now I understand. You are exactly relying on this flaw to deceive others under the guise of being innocent. Now it's been 4 years. All the evidence, and Bai Ningbing's remains, were destroyed by you early in the morning. Are you freaking deaf? I didn't kill Bai Ningbing. Then who killed her? He slammed his hand on the table. Speak up. He yelled fiercely, and I suddenly realized that I could only give a pale denial. I couldn't say anything. This timeline concerns the 4 years after Bai Ningbing's death. I have no memory. Do you really think we just went to arrest you without finding anything, right? Then the JC smiled. He patted my shoulder. If you don't speak, I'll speak for you. March 2018. The vaccine incident of Changshin Company. It is rumored that some infants in 3rd and 4th tier cities faced misfortune because of this. But at that time, the new evidence was being suppressed heavily. Changshin Company, an American enterprise, a market value of tens of billions. No one dared to touch it, except for your girlfriend, Bai Ningbing. This means, May 2018, she started investigating Changshin Company. She was 25 years old at that time. She worked very recklessly. She didn't know how to hide. Soon, the upper management of Changshin Company knew about it. But strangely, Changshin Company didn't touch Bai Ningbing. But in June, they invited you as their company's consultant for new drug research. A senior research consultant for new drug development. You were only 29 years old at that time. You had no qualifications to be a senior consultant. Why did they choose you? A month later, on July 14th, Bai Ningbing disappeared. Of course, it was actually not a disappearance. It was a murder. At 3 a.m. on July 15, 2018, you got off the plane. A total of 2 people were killed. Professor Sun from AV Medical University, your girlfriend Bai Ningbing. Among them, you had physically assaulted Bai Ningbing for a long time. And in the end, you cut her wrists and placed her in the bathtub. The temperature of the water in the bathtub could affect the forensic examination. You tried to disguise it as a suicide scene, but you soon realized you couldn't explain the injuries on her body. You realized that to truly cover everything up, you could only eliminate all traces, including, you dismembered Bai Ningbing, dumped the body, you cleaned your apartment, and did it extremely well, leaving JC unable to find any clues. Next, July 16, 2018, we met. You staged an attack on a police officer, covering it up with another crime, concealing your heinous crimes. It's been 4 years. Itamokoto. This case has weighed on my mind for 4 years, finally letting me find it in the old disk you discarded. Found this photo. Creation date July 15, 2018. Itamokoto. What kind of person would hide a photo in a computer for 4 years? A full 4 years. He leaned closer to me. His eyes had turned almost red, as if wanting to devour me whole. Only the killer. This is the police's tried and true method. Using evidence to deduce the facts of the crime. At the same time, to apply maximum pressure on the suspect. He did it beautifully. All the evidence was all reasonably applied. The timing was precise. The motive was clear. Moreover, the emotions were in place. But, Officer Zhou Yuanzhou, do I have any flaws? He was stunned for a moment. What did you say? I smiled, because I noticed from his interrogation performance that I discovered something very advantageous for myself. He is not a strong person. Absolutely not. Officer Zhou, in these 4 years, I have also been investigating Bai Ningbing's death. For this, I have read many books on criminal investigation. Really? So, how's my reasoning? Quite brilliant. But we both know, these reasoning points are just a lure. What makes you say that? He stood up. He lit a new cigarette. He watched me with great interest. Officer Zhou, you know very well, the authenticity of that evidence is questionable. The photo, my employment record, these are all things you only recently found. You piece together a story using this kind of evidence. It can't directly solve the case. It can only be used to induce me to show a flaw, that's all. Induce you. He chuckled lightly. Why should I? Because I do have a motive. And if you want to believe me, you have to prove that I was under your interrogation pressure. Without any flaws. He was smoking. He stopped speaking. Officer Zhou, you also want to take down Changshan, right? Silence. A long silence. Then, I saw him turn around. He turned off the DV camera that had been facing me. He picked up a chair, and leaned it against the table. The back of the chair got stuck in the door handle. This is a very common action in the police force. Block the door. Then there's the suspect with the stick. Sure enough, after the door got stuck, urgent footsteps echoed in the hallway. Then, there was a heavy knocking at the door. They followed the source's name, warned him not to use violence, but he ignored it, and walked straight towards me, pressing my head down, and slammed it down on the interrogation table, with a loud bang. My vision blurred with dizziness. Itamokoto, you think I'm an idiot, don't you? Officer Zhou yelled. Xiang. My head hit the interrogation table again. This time it was more precise. A sharp pain shot through my nose. And then, that pain spread throughout my head. I instinctively tilted my head back. Blood poured out of my nose in thick streams. The pain was too much to speak. I could hardly breathe. Then Officer Zhou walked up beside me. His large hand grabbed my face. His palm was pressed against my nose. He suddenly pushed down with force. This time, the pain felt like needles. Hundreds of needles, no, thousands of needles. I screamed. My hands were handcuffed to the table. I couldn't fight back at all. It lasted for over 10 seconds. He finally stopped. I gasped for breath, watching the blood soak through my entire chest. He warned loudly, Itamokoto, hurry up and confess. Otherwise, hitting people. I absolutely love it. Saying that, he grabbed my hair again. I was about to crash into the table. I shouted. I said everything. What should you say? He questioned loudly. Where is the hideout? Bai Ningbing's hideout. 1:0 a.m. on July 15, 2022. I was taken to the outskirts of Shenzhen. The police car stopped outside the desolate forest. Zhou Yuan and 2 auxiliary police officers escorted me. We entered the wild forest. We found an open space. Right here. This is the place. Control. After Zhou Yuan finished speaking, the 2 auxiliary police officers, at 1:30 a.m., holding 2 shovels, and began to dig. But half an hour later, they had only made several half-meter deep holes. Nothing under control. Are you really sure about this? There is absolutely no mistake. Those 2 are half dead. Where is the ST? Those 2 auxiliary officers were already too tired to stand upright. Meanwhile, Zhou Yuan was beside me, nudging me gently with his elbow. Then he took 2 steps forward, leaving his back exposed to me. You 2 can't do this. Don't you usually train your stamina? I knew that. He was hinting to me. To escape now. Are you sure you've thought this through? Like this, you will become a fugitive. This was Zhou Yuan's warning to me in the interrogation room. Decided. I haven't thought it through. This is my only chance. Officer Zhou, you also want to bring down Changshan, right? In the interrogation room. After I asked this question, Zhou Yuan was silent for a good 10 seconds. Then, he stood in front of the DV camera with his body. He asked me in a very faint voice. Why should I trust you? He repeated his question. I pointed to the photo on the table. This person, Bai Ningbing. I answered him softly. I have Bai Ningbing's complete investigation data. Right. I will give it to the police. Give it to the police. It's not in my hands. It's in Changshan's hands. Changshan didn't destroy it. They don't even know they have that data. So, I'm going to get it back. Besides, you all dare not act against Changshan. Do you dare? I dare. Why? Because I don't intend to live. He pondered for a long time. Let's put on a show, Mr. Itu. I turned off the video recording. Let's act out a scene under covert surveillance. He turned around and pressed the DY button. If you don't use a chair to jam the doorknob, someone might come in. It might hurt a bit. His voice softened for the first time. I said, not afraid of death. Make sure to think it through. This way, you'll become a fugitive. Think it through. This is my only chance. The only chance to take down Changshan. To take revenge for Bai Ningbing. The only opportunity. In the empty space of the wasteland, I suddenly turned around, and ran recklessly. After running a few steps, I heard Zhou Yuan yelling behind me. Damn it. He's chasing me. I didn't look back. I knew Zhou Yuan wouldn't chase me with all his effort. And the other 2 auxiliary officers had already exhausted their energy because of him. This open space was no more than 300 meters from the police car. At this distance, the 2 auxiliary officers had no reason to catch up with me. I rushed to the side of the police car. I sat in the driver's seat. I twisted the key that was left in the lock. I started the car. Just as one auxiliary officer gripped the door handle, I smoothly started the vehicle, strode off. After getting onto the main road, I found the key Zhou Yuan had left on the back seat, took off the handcuffs. I pressed the accelerator to 130. I drove towards Prince Road. There is a pharmacy there, where Gao Qiqiang would linger every night until morning. To frame me so completely, only one person could do that. It's my senior brother, my old friend of 10 years, Gao Qiqiang. When they found Gao Qiqiang, he is in the toilet stall at YD, secretly meeting with another young woman. Take off one piece, one Hermes. How about it? Through the door panel, I heard his voice. A whole night of rage. No longer able to control, I kicked open the door, pointing at the girl, saying, "Get out, brother. How did you come here?" Gao Qiqiang was holding up his pants. The alcohol hasn't worn off yet. I closed the door, locked it. I pulled out at least a meter of toilet paper from the box beside me, rolled it up in my hand, opened my mouth. I said, "Bro, what's going on?" I had lost my last shred of patience. I reached out and grabbed his legs. I shoved the roll of toilet paper into his mouth. Then I pulled a police knife from the back of my waist. I stabbed him in the thigh. He let out a cry. His hands struggled wildly. "Don't move," I reminded him. He didn't listen. He continued to struggle. I grew increasingly irritable. I simply pulled out the knife, aimed at the same wound. I stabbed down again, pull it out again, stabbed again. On the 5th time, I felt the solid resistance of the blade. That was his leg bone. "Don't move. Is that okay, senior brother? Don't move." His face was covered in mucus and tears. But in the end, he obeyed. "I was afraid you would call for help. It had to be this way." I wiped away his tears. "Look at me. Next, I ask you. You nod or shake your head. Do you understand?" He nodded vigorously. "You lied to me. It's not just this leg. Do you understand?" He paused for a moment. Nodded again. "All right. Let me ask a simple one first. My why drive? It was you who acted." He stared at me. The tears grew stronger. But he didn't dare to move his head. "Don't be afraid, senior. This is the easiest question." His head still didn't move. "What is it?" The knife blade in my hand. On his leg. Twisted 45 degrees counterclockwise. "My why drive? Was it you who tampered with it? Answer me." He twitched for quite a while. Finally, he nodded. "Very good, senior brother. Very good. Now, let's get to the point. Bai Ningbing, did you kill her? I'm begging you. Just tell me. Where's the data?" The waters suddenly woke me up. A company released a lot of salt. Every injury on my body was stimulated by that water. People burned again. I bit my teeth until they hurt as much as the injuries on my body. I still couldn't hold back the scream. Of course, I couldn't answer Gao Qiqiang's words either. "Bai Ningbing." He cupped my face. "I'm helping you, do you understand?" I was taken back to the Johnson Pharmaceuticals building. But this time, it wasn't a peaceful cocktail party, but rather a private lab on the top floor. In a place like this, they can do anything. "Bai Ningbing, tell me where the data is. I went to plead with the president. To keep you alive. I don't want to let Ito Seiji down." "Gao Qiqiang, what do you want to say? Hurry up and say it. Now. What time is it?" "It's 3 o'clock. "Bai Ningbing, you've been at it for 6 hours. If this continues, you'll be dead." "It's 3 o'clock. Then, Ito Makoto should have gotten off the plane. He also said he had a surprise for me today. I wonder what it could be." "Any guesses?" Gao Qiqiang's expression changed. He seemed to have grown impatient. He got up, took a few steps back. He gestured to the men in black behind him. Those men stepped forward, changed the tactic. It was several electric batons, about the length of a forearm. Arcs of electricity kept jumping at the tips. A sharp crackling sound erupted. "Bai Ningbing, I'm just doing things for others." After saying that, Gao Qiqiang turned his back. Zhong gone. The electric shock exploded on me, in so much pain that it felt like several iron rods pierced through my body. I don't know how long they pressed the button. I could only feel. Every second. Felt like a year long. A long time. After a long, long time. In the only small patch of clear vision, I saw Gao Qiqiang wave his hand. The shock abruptly stopped. But all the muscles in my body were still twitching uncontrollably. My screams were completely silenced. It sounded terrible. For quite a while. Before I finally collapsed weakly. Watching my tears and blood drip down, drop by drop. I must look awful now. But it's okay. Ito Makoto will only remember how beautiful I looked. "Bai Ningbing, you can't hold on. Go ahead and speak. Where is that data?" I sobbed. I had no strength to speak. He is right. I can't hold on much longer. Gao Qiqiang waited for a while. He became impatient. He waved his hand again. Those men in black approached again. The electric baton emitted a blinding light. "Stop." Suddenly, the door to the laboratory opened. A middle-aged man walked in. How could it be? How could you treat Miss Bai like this? Gao Qiqiang desperately shook his head. A whimpering sound came from his mouth. I understand. You didn't kill Bai Ningbing. But you didn't hold back. His movement stopped. Gao Qiqiang. You were at the scene when she died. Is that so? He slowly nodded. She didn't die at Professor Sun's villa. He nodded. She died in your company. He nodded. And her death. Professor Sun's death. Naturally, it was all your boss's orders. He nodded. It was your boss who ordered you to bring Bai Ningbing back to the company. To interrogate in person. He nodded. So. Bai Ningbing. Did he kill her with his own hands? He was stunned for a moment. He nodded. I closed my eyes. To get such an answer. It was as if I saw Bai Ningbing dying right in front of me. Bai Ningbing, the reporter. We finally met. Changxing casually draped a suit jacket over me. Except for the vaccine. What else are you investigating about Changxing? You're affiliated with the Shannon Weekly. How many people are still investigating this matter? There are still. That piece of data. Where exactly is it? He moved a chair. He sat down opposite me. Bai Ningbing, the reporter, don't worry. If you cooperate, I can pay a large sum for a non-disclosure agreement. And I will guarantee your personal safety. And your family. Are you just bragging? I endured the excruciating pain in my body. I forced a smile. Changsheng is not your company. It's an American company. All the decisions, including the production of substandard vaccines, assassinating Professor Sun, all of it was instigated by your American masters. If you don't handle this matter well, and lose money for the American shareholders, you'll likely be reassigned to South Asia by your masters. Or Africa. You guarantee my safety. I couldn't help but laugh out loud, but it instantly tugged at my wounds. Mr. Su Tsaikun, what can you use to guarantee that? He leaned back against the chair. His arms crossed over his chest, rising and falling with his breaths. Bai Ningbing. I said I could guarantee the safety of you and your family. You don't believe me. He took out his phone, placing it on his lap. What if I say, I could kill you and your family? At this moment, his phone rang. He answered. He turned on the amplifier. Su Chao. We can do things at any time. Where are you now? Ninghan City, Shijiang District. Number 43, Shuefu Road. Jinfuyuan Community. Building 6, Unit 2, Apartment 1004. We have arrived at Bai Ningbing's hometown. You dare to touch my parents? I shouted. Su Tsaikun ignored me. I asked again over the phone. What are you planning to do? We just cut off the surveillance in this building. After that, we'll pick the lock and enter. Cut the natural gas hose. Everything can be done within 5 minutes. Su Tsaikun's eyes were full of pride. Wait for my command. He hung up the phone. Bai Ningbing, the reporter. Now. Can I speak now? I was trembling all over. It took a long time to recover. All right. You can speak now. That's great. But, do we need so many people present? Su Tsaikun raised his hand. He allowed Gao Qiqiang and his subordinates to leave the laboratory. I scanned the ropes binding me with my eyes. Is this how you want to discuss a partnership with me? He smiled. He stood up. He untied the ropes on me. I slowly spoke up. Your Changxing company. It's not just about the vaccine. Baby skincare products contain glucocorticoids. Health supplements have added antihypertensive ingredients. Kidney disease medications have excessive liver toxicity. Your matters. There are many more. I suddenly pulled the knife from Gao Qiqiang's leg. I pressed it against his throat. Then, I pulled out the toilet paper from his mouth. It's your boss. Who killed Bai Ningbing? What then? Gao Qiqiang cried out. Besides someone like him, a naturalized American. Do you really think we dare to kill? Where is he? Gao Qiqiang stared at me. You can't compete with him. Bro. Don't call me bro. Your boss. Where is the dad of Changsheng? Suddenly, the door behind me was opened again. Looking for me. Then, a heavy blow struck the back of my head. It felt like it could shatter my skull. I collapsed to the ground. In a daze, I saw a middle-aged man crouching in front of me. He was playing with my knife. I can't tell. You're pretty ruthless. Su Tsaikun. I asked. Itu Makoto, Dr. Itu. I've been monitoring you for 4 years. Why did it take you so long to think of finding me? The top floor of Changxing building. In a small laboratory. They tied me to a chair. Su Tsaikun told me. Yeah. I killed Bai Ningbing. But before killing her. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. He propped an iPad in front of me. He opened a video. He turned the brightness and sound to the maximum. That was the video of Bai Ningbing being coerced. Screams. Cries. The sound of electric currents cracking. Even with my eyes closed, I couldn't escape it. I struggled like a madman. The rope scraped bloody marks on my body. I wanted to curse. But they had already covered my mouth. The video lasted over 7 hours. The video continued. And my anger made me feel utterly exhausted. Then, Underneath, Su Kaikwan picked up a sledgehammer. Dr. E, I know you're really angry right now, but that's exactly what I want. You'll soon find out. No matter how angry you are, you can't fight us. I'm not in a hurry to ask you, but I will destroy all your will. When you're in despair, you'll naturally tell me where. Where's the data? He ordered his men to hold my hands down, then aimed at the back of my hand, raised my arm high, bones shattered, muscles collapsed, blood was flung up by the hammerhead. It hung in the air for a moment before falling back down. Decisive, neat and efficient, without hesitation. I now understand why Bai Ningbing did that. I know why she gave up her life. She also wanted to hold on to Chongqing no matter what. These people are demons. Your Chongqing company. It's not just the vaccine issue. The baby skincare products contain corticosteroids. The supplements contain blood pressure lowering ingredients. The kidney disease medication has excessive liver toxicity. Your matters. There's still a lot more. Very good. This is exactly what I want from the investigation. I can cover the expenses, but you all need to keep quiet. Of course I can keep quiet, but I'm only looking into the vaccines. I'm talking about someone else's investigation. Who's investigating? We're not sure about that. The competition in our field is intense. Their investigations are very confidential. So what you just said is just hearsay. Just looking at you, it seems that these things are true. 2. Bai Ningbing. 3. You want me to. I didn't ask you to call me or to collect anything from you. I'm not playing you. I do know quite a bit. But we need to talk slowly, one by one. What do you know? Tell me everything. I know a lot. Like you. Me. Your background. Your past. Your inner self. Bai Ningbing. You checked up on me. You're a Hong Kong native. Your father passed away early. Your mother was introduced to someone. She married an American. In the 90s. Everyone thought America was a paradise. But you only found out when you arrived. That American was just a blue-collar worker. The place you lived is just a street away from the black community. You have to be bullied by white people. You also had to deal with the black community. At night, you still occasionally suffer domestic violence from your stepfather. Bai Ningbing. You shouldn't have said that. But you are very smart. Get into a good university. Full scholarship. Later, I joined Changxing Pharmaceuticals. Returned to China and became the leader of the South China region. All of a sudden. Became a person of higher status. Bai Ningbing. You are the best investigative journalist I have ever met. You are also the most beautiful woman I have ever met. But if you still don't speak. You originally wanted to earn enough money to bring your mother back. You bought 2 villas in Shenzhen. But everything was ready. Your mother was in New York. She committed suicide. He paused for a moment. Suddenly grabbed my neck. He lifted me up directly. Pressed me against the lab table behind me. Bai Ningbing. You dare to insult me. He shouted loudly. Finally got angry. The timing was just right. I grabbed the alcohol lamp on the experimental table, and smashed it over his head. The alcohol irritated his eyes. He reached up to wipe them. Taking advantage of this brief moment, I grabbed a shard of the broken alcohol lamp, stabbed directly at Su Saikuan's neck. But he reacted extremely quickly. His neck was just barely cut, leaving a trace of blood. He immediately pressed down on my wrist, and twisted it 180 degrees. At the moment my wrist broke. The sharp shard was already taken from my hand by him. He smoothly raised his hand. It cut my neck. Sharp pain. Fleeting. I felt a warm current surging out from my neck. In an instant, it drained all my strength. How is it, Dr. E? After the back of my right hand rotted away, Su Saikuan stopped the hammer. Completely drenched in sweat. The delicate hairstyle was completely messed up. He tore the cloth from my mouth. Investigation data on Bai Ningbing from 4 years ago. Where is it? Tell me. I was trembling constantly from the excruciating pain. Yes. And slapped my face twice. Dr. E. The data is clear. I looked at his insane expression. Suddenly, I understood something. What is it? You are afraid of Bai Ningbing. You are terrified. He stared at me, with his eyes narrowing. Are you mocking me? No. I want to tell you. I am not Bai Ningbing. I can tell you where that thing is right now. But I have a condition. See the blood on my neck. Su Saikuan stepped back in fright. You want to die. He said, trembling. Yes. I just want to die. After Su Saikuan rose to power, he studied self-defense techniques for many years, and while I was provoking him, I had already thought of using his instinctive response to end myself. Of course, if his self-defense skills are too poor, I would find another opportunity to commit suicide. It's just that. It's hard to act. I just want to die. To die here. Only then can it reassure the strong. Only then can it reassure my family, and Ito Makoto, truly free from trouble. And also, this is the data I brought out. The only way. That's right, Dr. E. It is wise to set conditions. You want money, or do you want a house? I will tell you where the data is. Tell me where Bai Ningbing is. What did you say? Bai Ningbing's body. Where is it buried? He froze for a moment. Is it important? I originally wanted to marry her, but you killed her. Now, I want to be buried with her. You say, is it important? Call an ambulance. Su Tsaikuan shouted. Bai Ningbing, you can't die. You tell the situation. Su Tsaikuan knelt beside me, continuously yelling, but I couldn't hear clearly. Black waves surged around my line of sight, slowly closing in towards the center. The drowsiness grew stronger. In the end, I fell into pure darkness. Only distant sounds remained in my mind. Wait for me to return. I'll give you a huge surprise. That was before he flew off to the seminar a few days ago. A promise he made when saying goodbye to me. I won't regret it. Believe it or not. That was something he said to me in the future. Words he said to me. Be my girlfriend. That was a late night a few years ago. His confession to me. Ito Makoto. I really like you. What are you laughing at? Dr. Ito. Is it that funny? So that's where it is. You actually buried her there. I smiled. That artificial lake. I even rode a boat with her. Alright. Now tell me. Where is the data? You just told me. I just told you. Yes. That data has always been in Bai Ningbing's body. Before she came out of Professor Sun's villa. Swallow 7 USB drives. Su Tsaikuan was stunned for a moment. Suddenly shouted. Everyone. Go find ST. It's too late, Su Dai. You can't outrun JC. You planted a bug. Impossible. I searched your body. It's not on me. I pointed to Gao Qiqiang, who had just finished bandaging his thigh. It's with my senior. It was when I was beating him. It was done casually. The lab door was slammed open. A few police officers barged in. Meanwhile, Zhou Yuan had a cigarette in his mouth. He entered last with a very cool demeanor. Su Tsaikuan. You're completely done for. The police officers all raised their guns. Under the gun sights. Surprisingly, no one dared to resist at all. Everyone was subdued after that. Then Zhou Yuan untied my ropes. He said it was hard to tell. You really put in the effort, huh? Hurry up and go to the hospital. I said, can you lend me another handcuff? Why? I heard handcuffs are used to hit people. It hurts a lot. It hurts. It would hurt even more if it were a sledgehammer. Don't kill him, okay? Otherwise, it would be excessive defense. That day, a total of 3 police officers held Su Tsaikuan down for me. They broke several of his ribs one after another. Right wrist. And left leg tibia. Later, Zhou Yuan wouldn't let me continue. He said to at least let him appear in court with a cane. I know that's an excuse. He is afraid I won't be able to hold back at any moment. Take the killing blow. 3:45 a.m. Zhou Yuan received a call from a colleague. The body of Bai Ningbing was found by the lakeside. It was recovered from the water near the lakeside. The forensic expert directly retrieved the USB drive from the scene. Because it is fully wrapped in aluminum alloy, the contents inside were almost intact. Zhou Yuan asked me, do you want to go to the scene and take a look? I said I can't. I've seen her ST once. I don't want to see it again. She probably doesn't want to either. When I saw her like that, he took me to the hospital to treat my wounds. Then he sent me back to my residence. On the way, he asked, why, after 4 years, did I suddenly get a lead? I said, you won't believe it. It was Bai Ningbing who told me. He said, I believe you. When we parted, he gave me a military salute. I returned home, and saw Bai Ningbing's belongings still scattered on the floor. I endured the aches all over my body, and organized everything again. I put everything away neatly. Finally, it was Xingbu's phone, just as it was when I first found it at dusk. It had 2% battery. There was no SIM card. There was a signal. It was as if nothing had changed. But in reality, everything had changed. I didn't charge it anymore. I placed it in the box as well. I closed the lid. The torrential rain had stopped. A miracle has already occurred. It's just that I still couldn't save her. The wound on my hand stings. It turns out, the bandage was soaked with tears. Text message notification sound. No matter who it is. I don't want to care right now, but... Ding. This is the text message notification from that old phone. It's still receiving messages. Except for her. Whose messages could it be? I can't sleep. At this time, you're definitely asleep. But there's something I need to tell you. Forget it, I won't say it. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed if I say it. Actually, you are quite stupid, Makoto Ito. Alright, sleep well. See you on the weekend. When I sent the second message, I slapped my head twice hard. It's so embarrassing. I even took the initiative to text him like a dead pig. To be honest, didn't I show it clearly enough? He, with the surname E, asked me out for 3 consecutive weekends. I showed up for 3 weeks in a row, and each time, I put on a mask the night before. Get up early in the morning to wash your hair and put on makeup. It's not easy for me, yet he just won't confess. Impressive, right? Just asking me out. Just not confessing. But he doesn't confess. What kind of story is it that I'm also struggling to sleep? I'm even sending messages like this. Shameful. What's the difference between this and directly saying I like you? Wait a moment. Then why not just tell him I like you? Just call him. Say it now. But 5 in the morning. He's probably asleep. He's sleeping. Let him sleep. Wake him up, I said. Hello. Oh no. Ito Makoto, you answered the call. You're still awake. Your skin. Skin seems fine. Perfect timing. Ito Makoto. I need to tell you something now. A very serious matter. Or maybe I should go first. Ah. Bai Ningbing. I like you. Oh no. Bai Ningbing. I'm not good with words. Dull. Straight man. Sometimes you can't even tell if you're wearing makeup. Sometimes, it's hard to tell if you're angry or not. I know I should have expressed it earlier. But I've always been afraid of being rejected by you. Thank you. You're very kind. That's so sweet of you to say. Thank you. That's really sweet. I'm glad to hear that. But up until today, I've always felt like I don't deserve to be liked by you. You call this being bad with words. Did you think about this for a long time? I've been too afraid to tell you. I can't hold it in anymore. Yeah. I miss you so much. You just left me a few hours ago. Yeah. Just a few hours. At that moment, I finally understood why Bai Ningbing often called me. I was the one who confessed to her first. It was me in 2022. I finally understand. It turns out the reason this phone transcends is not because of the thunderstorm on July 14th, but because of my longing for her. Be my girlfriend. Okay. Not just Ito Makoto. Is that your voice? Are you crying? Ah, oh, okay. 18, hahaha. You big man, confessing and crying. There really isn't. Believe it or not. Since we're in a relationship, we should set some rules, right? From now on, when calling, you should first call me dear. It's just a playful little question, dear. Be good now. But I have a rule too. Go ahead, tell me. If one day, if you want to secretly investigate the pharmaceutical industry, Ito Makoto, how do you know? If you encounter a major malpractice incident in a pharmaceutical company, remember, I can provide the testing data. The organization I belong to is authoritative enough. I'm even more clever than those old professors. The most important thing is, I will always stand by your side. Why did you suddenly bring this up? Remember what I said today. I beg you, dear. We talked for a long time again. In the end, she said she would call me as soon as she wakes up. We said goodbye to each other many times. Then I hung up the phone. Turns out, this is how we started. This time, I didn't tell her I came from the future. I didn't mention anything about death. Because I knew very well, no matter how hard I tried, or how seriously I tried to change history, it wouldn't guarantee that Bai Ningbing would come back. If I truly can't save her, at least, don't ruin her happiness at that time. In the end, I collapsed on the ground. Although the chances are slim, I still can't help but hope. I hope there will be a slight change in what's before me, just like every time the timeline changes. But, for a long time, the entire room was in complete silence. Until the horizon turned slightly red. The light slowly seeped into the room. Suddenly, I faintly heard a cry. A baby's cry. That wasn't a hallucination. Because of that crying, is following the distant light. It gradually became clearer. Bright. Husband. I heard Bai Ningbing calling out. Husband, where are you? Your son Zishuan is causing trouble again.